Hello, it's Sunday the 30th of January and today's walk is another in my backyard. It's a home-based outing after yesterday's quite frightening episode of Storm Malik, bringing down trees, disrupting the roads, disrupting the train services, all kinds of injuries, fatalities, yeah, terrible times. Wouldn't be wise to have even attempted some kind of high-lying Dales walk or even something over the Todmorden Moors. No. Today we're in between storm sequences and yeah, after a sort of a hardish frost overnight, I think it hit about 0 or 1. It's a beautifully sunny morning and I'm currently on part of the Calderdale Way, having left Norwood Green behind, and I'm heading towards Shelf. You can see if I turn around, yes, we have electricity pylons. Very bright sun. Long shadows, a little bit of grass frost, and hardly a breath of wind. I mentioned that this route would be roughly based on the Calderdale Way, and what I'm doing at the moment is following the way towards Shelf and then Stone Chair, and then ultimately I'll be leaving it and heading towards Queensbury, one of the highest villages in England. Behind me, what sort of a view do we have? Keeping clear of the sun, Norwood Green, which I've mentioned on earlier videos, lies roughly over there, halfway between those electricity pylons. Shelf Woods, and heading in that direction towards Shelf. You can see a mill chimney there just appearing. What a beautiful morning. I'm hoping that when I get a little bit higher there'll be some quite good long distance views of the Pennines and some of our old friends and monuments from earlier videos. Just beginning to warm up a little now. You can see that there's traces of grass frost in the shade. The sun is getting established, and what a beautiful sun. If I look over there, you can see a little gap in the hill. That's the top. You might even be able to make out, if I hold it very steady, a road zigzagging its way up that slope. That's the infamous cobbled Shibden Wall hill, a test piece much beloved of local cyclists, and they've brought the Tour of Britain up there a few times. I remember going there, I think it was 1987, for the Kellogg's Professional Tour of Britain, and watching some of the European greats and top British riders toiling away up the cobbles to, there used to be I think it was the Sportsman Inn just at the top. I'm not sure if that's an inn or a pub anymore, but the building's still there. You can just see the golden sun catching the roof. 7 miles walked, and you can see Queensbury there. I mentioned earlier that it's one of the highest villages, certainly in England. I think it's around 1100 to 1200 feet, and given that the population is some 16,000, it's quite a sizable settlement perched on that sort of a hilltop. Panning a little further round, we're looking across to Bradshaw, Soil Hill. Continuing the pan, you can see the start of the higher moors of the Pennines. You might, if I keep it steady, be able to make out a building with a nearby mast. Most of the wind farm is obscured by a bank of cloud there behind Ogden Water. At the old Withens Inn on top of the hill. No longer a pub, I don't think, at least. Last time I went over there it was a private residence. We can see the school buildings at Illingworth, and the start, at least, of Halifax. You can hear the traffic noise as well on the Queensbury-Halifax road. So this part is Swale Moor. Or Swales Moor, optional S. So I mentioned the Sportsman Inn and the cobbled hill of Shibden Wall. Well, this is where it tops out, and the Sportsman Inn is now Swim Right Leisure. And in keeping with the leisure theme, what we have here is a dry ski slope. Sportsman Inn Free House, says the sign. Halifax Ski and Snowboard Centre. Not too many takers today. Are they called moguls or berms? I'm not sure. I think I'm around 1,000 feet in terms of altitude, and crossing over the road you get now a much broader, more expansive view of Halifax. Mill chimneys. You can still see the old mill buildings there. And I'm looking for Studley Pike, but I can't make it out on those hazy hills in the distance. This is the entrance to Shibden Hall. You can see part of the building down there. The sign dates it to the 15th century. And it's experienced a surge in popularity thanks to the fairly recent BBC TV series Gentleman Jack. Because apologies for the road noise. Because Shibden Hall was the home of Anne Lister, the titular Gentleman Jack, and I think the interior shots for the TV programme were done elsewhere, but the exterior shots were done at Shibden Hall. The notice board said that it's closed until March this year, but the grounds are open. I suppose as a conscientious guide I should take a tour of the grounds, but I think it's a little bit busy today by the looks of things. Passing through a pretty little hamlet of Priestley Green. Gorgeous little cottages. To think that it's less than a mile from the main A58 road. Walked 12 miles at this point. I think I have maybe a mile to Norwood Green, and from there maybe a mile home. It's not going to be too bad a walk. The weather's been glorious. It hasn't had the outstanding panoramas of the Yorkshire Dales, or even the ruggedness of the Calderdale heather and moors, but I've lived in places where the only green space was a municipal park, and compared to that, this is the big country. "13 miles, 3.5 hours, lots of sunshine." I think this Shibden Vale based walk has turned out quite nicely, especially given the circumstances following Storm Malik and the transport disruption and so on. I'm heading onto Station Road now, having left Norwood Green behind, and I've got about a mile to go. So, as per usual, that's all for this episode. See you next time.